Nightwatch. Terror and treasure in the dark corners of the world. By Patrick Todorov is the game we are playing today. And I put together something a little special for you. First, let's take a look at our batting lineup, shall we? I'm going to slide on down here. And look at our dwarves. These are the dwarves of Airom. Their ancestral homeland was stolen from their parents, and now they're going to boot out the interlopers and reclaim it for themselves. We've got 4 old stalwart standbys. Over on this side with the great big hammer is Gav Inmorgan. Now he has used some of his money. As you know, as you recall from last time, they were able to generate enough money to pay off their vows. They have successfully funded the Bureau of Cavern Reclamation. All they got to do is chase out the interlopers, and the rest of the Dwarven Nation will come help them rebuild. So the money that they earn now, they can use to buy potions or hire some noobs, and that's what we got here. These guys are classed as hordes. A couple of cross dwarves. Well, I mean, every dwarf is crossed to a certain level, to a certain extent. These are crossbowmen, except crossbow dwarfs, and they have 2d8 actions on their turns. This one will act with Gavin, who hired him, and then over here with the big axe is Bobby. Oh, we'll swap these guys. That's Bob Yojimbo, who hired a second cross dwarf. And then we've got on the inside, we've got with the mace is going to be Arthur de Casilva and Janal Emshead. And those are our 6 dwarves who have to get to the end of the valley. They've crossed the desert. They've reached a choke point, a pinch point, if you will. And they've got, see that over there? Look over there. Now, clever-eyed viewers will recognize that as terrain from the Heroscape board game or adventure game, whatever you want to call it. It's a miniature war game. That's what I call it. Me and the boy had a great time with it. They have to get to that gate. They have to smash it open. Now, this is a bit of a gauntlet scenario, but they're starting in the center, so they don't have quite as far to go. And then they have to knock it down by performing a successful attack. It has a defense of D10. All right? Once they smash it down, they still have to run off the backside of the valley, and that's going to be trickier than you might imagine, depending on the dice. Let's take a look at why, and we'll look at the rest of the terrain. From a bird's eye view, you can see our spawn point 1 is over here, 2 is in the ruined building there, 3 is in the center, largely enough. All of this terrain is going to block movement. The big rocks will block line of sight in addition to the trees and bushes over there. Where's number 4, I hear you ask? Well, that's right behind the wall, and we're going to do something a little different with number 4. Anytime the number 4 comes up on the darkness phase, we're going to spawn, depending on what it is. If it's vermin that spawn over there, then we're going to spawn zombies that kind of hang out behind the wall. So even after you smash that gate, our dwarves might still have enemies to fight through before they can get off the board. If it is a horde that spawns over there, it's going to be skeletal bowmen. Those bowmen are going to, their first action is going to be to climb up to the top of the battlements here. And then they're going to start raining arrows down on our heroes. They're going to be in heavy cover, so even if our crossbows shoot back, those guys are going to be hard to kill. As usual with the skeletons, they're going to have the +1 to their dodge and defend roll when they're attacked by bladed weapons, including crossbow bolts. And they're going to have a -1 when they're attacked by blunt weapons, which is the mace and the big heavy hammer. With all that out of the way, I think we're ready to get started. You know, I always say that, and this time is no different. The one last thing is that, once again, I forgot my dice. I always have an emergency spare set of polyhedrals on me, just in case. So we're just going to be using those today. It'll be a little less efficient. These aren't quite as visible as the normal set, but we'll get through. We're big boys. We're brave boys. We can handle it. Going to go ahead and start with this cross dwarf right here. He's going to try to run over and get cover there. Since there's no enemies on, we get this 1 turn with a free movement. Oh, I should also point out the cross dwarves also move 5 inches. They're wearing heavy armor. Move 5 inches. They get to roll 2d6 on their dodge. Excuse me, 3d6 on their dodge defend rolls because they're shooting. If they do get into melee, they fight at a -3. So they only get successes on a 7-up. Going to be a problem. This guy actually gets to move his 15 inches, and he's not. He's going to go ahead and take cover right here. Then we'll move. Let's start with Gav Inmorgan, he of the big heavy hammer. He's only going to get to move 5 inches to here, and I guess he wants to watch. He's guarding the backstretch, which is too bad, because that big hammer, I could totally justify giving him a +1 on the, or giving the door a -1 on that hit. And I'm kind of thinking maybe we should do 2 hits to destroy it, just to make it interesting. But I can't decide. Let's let the dice decide. On a 1, 2, 3, it has 1 hit point. And on a 4, 5, 6, it has, there you go, it has 1 hit point. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe this battle goes quick. We all know that my track record as a game designer leaves a little something to be desired. I'm going to bring our big heavy up to kind of draw aggro over there. We'll actually slide him over this way. Remember that one of the nice things about this game is you can kind of program the AI, if you will. All right, now he can move 15 as well. For maximum lulls with this game, you should use your free move and then roll 1 die and then decide where you're going. This whole move 15, if I was playing this off camera, I would probably use that. I would probably go ahead. I'm just going to bring him over here, I think. I would probably do it one at a time, but I want to condense the video down for you guys, make it as easy as possible to watch, and that just means streamlining a little bit. As a thought exercise, there's a big difference between how far can I move, okay, now that I know how far I can move, I'll decide where I'm going, versus taking a guy like this and saying, all right, I know I can move that far, now can I move again? Oh, I can't? Uh-oh. I know I got a maximum of 2 moves. That might change where your second move is too, based on how many more additional moves you have. You understand? So that will come up later in the game, I'm sure. But for now, I think we're good. We've got one guy who's bravely letting everyone else charge into the teeth of danger. He's going to draw some aggro, and our 2 crossbowmen are kind of in the back, ready to support. Going to zoom way out so we can figure out where our darkness guys come in. We are going to bring on 3 vermin first. And that result is a 1, so 3 vermin up there, and then a horde is going to come on right here. 2 hordes, I should say. And here they are, the usual sand spiders, our happy faces coming for death. And, oh, look at that, we've got some little better armored skeletons, a little more professional-looking fellers. So 2 hordes down there, 3 vermin up there, and the vermin are going to get to move up to 12 inches. All 3 are going to move 6 inches. They will move. Now, again, the way the AI works, if you're not sure what they're going to do, there's a 50-50 chance whether they move to the nearest guy or consolidate to prevent the nearest goal from being accomplished. In this case, on an even number, they're going to get out ahead of these guys. But that's only if there's... I mean, these guys are going to be moving this way anyway to prevent the objective. So let's do it that way. On a 1, 2, 3, on an even number, they're going to come over here, and on an odd number, they'll go to the closest. Which means these guys are going to converge on him. And who's closest to you? You're 10 inches away, and you guys are a little bit further. So these 3, now they're not going to be able to attack. The first one is going to get a second move. The second one does not, and the third one does. So 2 of them will be able to make contact like this, and this third one is going to race up and stop right there. That's it for them. Then we have to do the combat down here. With 2 attackers giving Gav the business, they're each going to have 2 attacks on them. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a total of 3 hits. And the good news is I do have a whole bunch of D6s for those games that call for a bunch of D6s. So we can at least save a little bit of time here. The first save is going to be successful. We only need to roll a 4 on one of these. The second one is successful. And the third hit is going to be wildly successful with triple force. That's it for the Darkness's first turn. I know that didn't seem terribly deadly, but as the bad guys mount up, it's going to get harder and harder to break away. So we're going to start down here with good old Gav. And Gav is going to use his first attack. And he's got a special ability that when he uses his first attack on this skeleton, he does get a free attack on skeleton number 2 with a D6. So I'm going to roll both of these. So his free attack does no good, but he hits with that first attack. then he has to roll his dodge defense on a d8, and he succeeds. Gav is attacking with the big hammer, so he is going to fail on a... he needs to roll a 5 up in order to succeed. Now Gav is going to do the same thing with his d8 attack. Wait, that's a d10. There's his d8 is a hit, and he gets the bonus d6, which is also a miss. Then this guy is going to try to save, and a 3 is going to be a failure. So Gav knocks down one of them, and then he's got his last attack. He rolls 2d6, and he succeeds, and on a 1, 2, or 3, that skeleton goes down as well. Gav does have one more move available to him, and he is absolutely going to move the 5 inches. Hey, guys, wait for me. The question then becomes, what are we going to do over here? Let's go ahead and start with Bob Iojimbo and see what he can do. He's going to roll his... He's got the same thing. He's fighting with a battle axe, so he's got a bonus attack on this guy. We'll start with the d8s in this case, and he misses with his free attack, hits with the d8, and that first spider is going to fail with a 3. Then he's going to go ahead and use his d10 on the second spider. He's going to miss with his first, but you do get 2 dice, and that spider is going to succeed on a 4 up. And then we've got one last attack with d6s. He hits, and that spider rolls a 6 and succeeds. So he's only able to get the 1 kill. Let's send him over to help. And he's got his first attack with d10s. It's going to be a hit, and the thing succeeds. Then he's going to use his d8 attack with a hit, and that's a failure. So the spider goes down, and Jonal scores his first kill. So that was his 10s and his 8s and his free move. Now he's going to use his second move to, well, let's see if he actually gets to make it or not. He does not. So he's done. He's just going to turn to face, say, come at me, 8-legged bro. We got our 2, well, look at this. We got a crossbow dwarf here who can take a grand total of 2 shots. But I think first, why don't we go ahead and use our free move to get up to here. And then we'll take a shot and we'll hit. And the thing is going to fail. And so everything's clear. Then he can go ahead and use his second move. And we're going to do that. We're going to... Well, 5 inches. Where do we want to go? Let's go ahead and take cover right there behind the rock. So that if any of those... probably shouldn't have used our move. Probably should have used our attack first, huh? Let's go ahead and close up to here. And we're going to do that because we got a mace man who's going to use his d6 to try and take a second move. So it brings him up to here. Now he's got 2 attacks left to try to smash that door open. We'll take a closer look. So he's got 4 and a 6. He's going to hit on both. And the door is going to have, it's heavily armored, so it's going to survive that attack. And the second attack, it's also going to survive. Then we've got our crossbow man down here. Now the crossbow guy down here, let me slide back just a little bit so you can see him. He's not going to do anything at all. He's going to withhold his actions. When you do that, you can interrupt the darkness with 1 action. So at any point in this next darkness pack or darkness phase, as soon as anybody appears, he can boing, take a shot at him. Speaking of which, once again, we're going to have 3 vermin. They're going to appear at point 3, and we're going to have 2 of the hordes who are going to appear at point 2. And that means we're going to have a couple of more skeletons and 3 more rats coming at you. This time the rats are going to appear down here, and the skeletons, the undead guardians, appear back here in this building. They're going to have a little rougher time getting into the action. Let's go ahead and start with the first of the rats, who's going, well, on an even number, they're going to go straight for the door. On an odd number, they're going to go for the closest. Odd number. So who is the closest? He's 4 inches away, and these guys are 6 inches away. So all 3 are going to dogpile Gav. However, one of them is going to be subject to a crossbow attack from Gav's helper. That's a hit, and the thing fails, so Gav is only contacted by 2 of those. And I need to check the rules. I think Gav gets credit for that kill because it was his employee. He's just, you know, taking his cut off the top. Then we got to deal with these 2 skeletons over here. The first one is going to move 6 inches rather, down to here. And then he's going to try to make contact, and he's going to succeed once, and he's going to fail once. So he's going to move to there. This guy is going to follow the same course. He's going to come down this way on his first move. He's going to get 1 bonus move, and then he's going to use, and that's it. So he's lagging behind a little bit thanks to the zigzag, but that's it for turn number 2. Moving on to turn number 3. Priorities. We're going to smash through the door here. Starting with the D10s, and we get our hit, and the door passes. We're going to hammer it with our D8s. We get a hit, and the door fails. And fails, so the door gets blown open. And now what do we do? He still has his D6 move. We're going to try to move. He's going to fail. But who was it that smashed it? Way to go, Arthur. Arthur is going to charge in and be ready. So he's through the gate, but he's on patrol just in case any zombies or skeletons appear on that side in the next Darkness Pact. The next guy we're going to do is here. We'll see if we can free up Gav, who's going to use his D10. And again, he gets a bonus of a D6. Both of those are going to be hits. And both of these guys need a 4 up. The first one passes, and the second one fails. Gav is going to attack with his D8s. He's going to hit on the first one, and the thing is going to succeed. And then he's going to hit on his 6, and the thing is going to fail. So Gav is now sprung loose, and he's going to race on his tiny little dwarfy legs to right about there. And I think everybody else is just going to hoof it. I think we're just going to leg it. We'll bring... See how many moves this cross dwarf gets. He gets 1 for sure, and then he gets a second one. So we'll move him 5 inches to here. And then we move him 5 inches to just inside the door, and he's watching the back. Gav is done. This crossbow dwarf is also going to use... well, those skeletons are going to be out of range, so he'll race into here. And then we're going to go ahead and save his D8s. We're going to put them on hold for the Darkness Pact turn. And we got these 2 guys who are both... Well, the first one is absolutely going to move 5 inches to there. And I might hold him there. I might... Well, let's see. I'm going to roll a D6. He's not going to get his 6 move. So let's roll our 8 and our 10. He's going to get 2 more moves. 10 inches. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and beat feet and get inside the gate as well, which leaves just him. Jonal is going to move 5 inches to there, and then we'll see if he can get 1 more move. I want to try and save... couple of those dice. No, he's not going to get it. I think we're going to save him too. He's going to save his 8 and his 10. So he can spend both the 8 and the 10, but you have to declare what your action is. So for example, the crossbowman who already made it through there is going to shoot anybody that spawns. He is going to save his melee attack for anybody that makes contact with him. This is turn number 3. We do have 2 more hordes and 3 more vermin coming on. The vermin are going to come on at point 3, and the hordes are going to come on at point 2, which is great for us. That means we're going to have 2 more skeletons appearing out of the ruined barracks, apparently. That's what this is over here at 2. And then we're going to have 3 more happy spiders. Glad to be a part of this process. Glad to be serving the Dark Lord. A little hungry in the tum-tum. Let's start with these 2 guys since they're the most important. I'm going to slide our camera over just a little bit more so you can see where they're headed. In this case, I'm not going to roll to see what they do because the door is open. They're going to rush for the door to try and prevent anybody from getting off the board. And that means we'll go ahead and start with this guy. He's automatically going to move 6 inches. And if he can get in 1 move, which he fails on the first, and he fails on the second. Likewise with this guy, well, let's see who's closest. He's 12 inches away and 12 inches away. So on evens and odds, that's who he's going for. Odds, he's going this way. He gets one move, and he, oh, wait a minute. He gets his free move, and then he's going to need to use both moves to come to contact with Gav. That's it for those guys. I've got those two guys over there who are going to move 6 inches and possibly more. Because we know they're heading this way, I'm just going to roll for the first one is going to get a total of 1 move, and the second one with a 2 and a failure is only going to get 1 move. How about that? So we'll come 6 inches to here for him, and we'll come 6 inches to here, and then this first one is going to go ahead and come up to there. But I don't think these skeletons are going to move quick enough. We do have 3 spiders here who are each going to get to move 6 inches to here, and to here, and to here. And then we'll see if they can come to contact with Gav. So the first one does not, the second one does not, and the third one does not. So they pause right there, and that's the end of turn number 3. Bob's spare action does not go off. Neither does the crossbow dwarf who's on the other side of the big door. They were, quote, wasted. They're really not because, you know, they put our mind at ease. I don't regret it. I would definitely do it again. We have to start, I think, with... You're going to think I'm a little crazy. Let me push in. I'm going to start with Bob. Bob's free move is going to be come over here and make contact. He's going to use his D6 attack on that skeleton. And he's going to get a miss. He's going to use his D8 attack, and he's going to hit. The skeleton succeeds. Then he's going to use his last attack to hit, and the skeleton is going to fail. That's why I did it in that order, because now he still has his 5 inches to move inside the door. Gav has not been contacted, which means Gav has all 3 of his move actions. Let me show you what things look like from the opposite side. We're going to cross the wall, because you need to see what these guys look like and where they wound up. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th one inside the door. Mr. Crossbowman, inside the door here, is going to take a shot. So you can't really see him. He's right here. He's going to take a shot at the nearest skeleton with his first action. And he's going to miss. Then he's going to take a shot with his second action. And he's also going to miss. And then he's going to retreat. He's just going to pull back that 5 inches to here. These guys, I'm thinking about pulling them back to here and here. And then they're going to hold their actions. So they've got their 8s and 10s. And they're basically going to wait and try to defend this point here. This cross dwarf is going to do likewise, except he's, well, let's see where he can go. He can move 5 inches to here. I just want to get him close enough that he's got an open line of sight, and he's within 5 inches of the board. So he's now got his 2d8s that he can use on his action to take a shot. So if anybody appears on number 4, they're going to get bounced. I think I'm missing somebody. Yeah, I got one more guy here. Oh, no, yeah, Gav is our last to go. So let's bring it back around and take a look at Gav. We can see through the door that Bob is ready to rock. Now, Gav here is going to do likewise. We got to take this a little careful. We got to think about what we're doing here. He can move a total of 5 inches. That'll put him right here. And then I think the smart play here is to hold your action. So anybody that comes up to him is going to get a face full of mace. Face full of big hammer. That's it for the good guys for this turn. We need to figure out. Now, this time around, the spawn is going to be a little different. On turn number 4 for the darkness, we are going to bring on 2 sets of 3 hordes. All right, so it could be, let's see where that first set comes in. It's going to be on door number 1, and the second set of hordes is going to be on door number 3. In this case, what we'll do is we'll just bring on 6 more spearmen, and I've got 3 up here on 1, and they're match sets. Here's the other 3 hordes. See, looking good, huh? Looking good. Nice and dry and dusty, suitable for the desert. They're going to start right down here. You'll see them in just a moment. First things first, I want to know what's going to happen with this guy, who is going to move 6 inches to start. That's going to put him right here. And then he's got 2 actions. So does he move? He does. And then he's going to have, whoa, you're going to get punched in the face by Gav with his held action. He gets the hit, and that guy fails. So that's it. Man, Gav is just a Lou Gehrig today, brother. He is just tearing him up. Then we're going to do this skeleton over here. He moves 6 inches to start. He gets his first action is to move, and his second action is also to move. So he makes contact. That's all he can do. Then we got 3 spiders, and bear in mind, Gav is the nearest. He already used his held action. And none of these spiders has enough movement to contact him. So they're going to have to roll. 1 is going to contact. 2 is going to contact. That was a 5. And then that third one is not. So all 3 are going to jump on Gav. Then we've got 1 more skeleton that came on last time, and he's going to fail to move, and he's going to succeed. So he's going to run up, hey diddle diddle, straight up the middle to right there. And then what can we do next? Let me pull you back here so you can see these 3 guys down here. And I think you just barely make out the 3 up there. They are all, of course, going to move 6 inches to here. Oh, man, the jaws of the trap are closing in. I wish we hadn't smashed that door open. Now, we have to roll. Are any of these guys within 6 inches of him? No. Lovely little choke point here. So let's see how many of these guys. The first one is going to get 1 move and 2 moves. So he is going to move to contact. The second guy is going to get 1 move, and that's it. So he's going to stop right here. And the third guy is going to get 1 move, and then does he get his second move? Yes, he does. So that's going to wind up being like that. And then we've got 3 guys over here who are going to get, the first one's going to get 1 move, the second one is going to get, on a 2 and a 1, no moves, and the third one is going to get 1 move. So they have enough movement to carry them over here, but not to get into contact. Jonal Amshead sees this big scrum and realizes he needs to take drastic action. So he is going to pop out his holy hand grenade and give it a chuck. He's aiming for this guy right here. Now, the hand grenade has a range of 1.5 inches radius. So if he hits this guy, it's going to be everybody within 3 inches. It'll wind up being everybody from this skeleton on. He's going to roll a d10, and he gets a 6, so he hits. Everybody in this scrum now has to make a defense roll of 5 or better. I'm going to start with the guy at the center who dies. The guy next to him survives with a roll of a 5. Then we've got this skeleton who needs a 5 up. We've got this skeleton who fails. This skeleton succeeds. This skeleton fails. And this skeleton fails. So that's what things look like after, except, don't forget, both of these guys are also in the blast radius. So they have to roll 3 dice and hope for a 5. So he survives, and Gav, also with a 6, survives the blast. Then Jonal says, yo, I'm out of here. Heck with this. Arthur de Casilva says, hey, that was a really good plan. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. He rolls a d10. He gets the hit. And now everybody's got to make that dodge defense roll. So we will, once again, start with... let's check line of sight on him. Yep, he's got it. We'll start with the little guy who fails. And then we'll check with this skeleton. And if we'd placed it better, we might have caught that other spider, but whatever. Fails, and this skeleton succeeds. And then he boogies on off the board. Okay, our 2 crossbow dwarfs. One of them is a little far away. He needs a success. So 4 of our guys are off the board now. All right, I moved in a little bit to show you how this is going to work. Bob here has a hammer and is going to use his free move to circle around and kind of come at this skeleton from right there. And I'm using Bob to attack that guy because Bob has the hammer. And so even though his first attack misses, with his second attack, he's going to get a success. And that skeleton now has to save on a 5-up. Against the axe, he only saves on a 3-up. There you go. So with that last skeleton springing everybody loose, now we can use our last movement to try to get out of the way. A 4 is a success, and Bob is going to be able to hightail it almost all the way across. He's still stuck a little bit. We might have to go through this process again, but he's going to have some help because we're going to bring him back 5 inches. And they're going to stand side by side, just like that. And he's going to save one of his actions. So we got a little bit of a fighting retreat here. And like I said, the timing is really awkward. I really wish I could have done one action for a guy and then another action, because now I've got the difficulty of 2 terrors and 2 hordes showing up. This is where things have the potential to get out of hand. I've got 3 hordes coming on at number 2. I've also got 2 terrors coming on at number 2. So they got lucky. Let's take a look at those terrors, because we're going to see them again here pretty soon. I've got, in fact, this is, I hope this is our last turn, because these are the last 3 hordes I've got. If I have to start recycling, then you're going to start seeing the old ones. But that's our 2 terrors right there. 3 actions with a D10. There's actually a good chance, there's a chance at least, that they could make it over there anyway. After all of these guys are going to get to move 6 inches. But I'm going to start over here with this spider who is not quite close enough to make contact. He's going to have to roll a 4-up to do so. And on a 5, he runs smack into the blade of Mr. Who is that? De Casilva? No, Jonal. Our MVP is going to use his 10 and his 8. He gets that 1 held action, and he hits, and the spider goes down. I'll remove that. They're still just inside the door. That spider died, and then we've got this skeleton who has 2 chances to make contact. He's going to fail with a 3 and succeed with a 5, but that is his last action. Then we've got a skeleton that can move 6 inches to here, and he's going to try to move and succeed, and he's going to succeed. So he is also going to make contact. And then we've got another skeleton here who's going to use his free move, and he's going to fail and fail. So all he's going to be able to do is get to right about there. Then we've got our 5 enemies over here, and they're all going to be able to move 6 inches to here for their free move. And then we've got 3 skeletons that are going to get 1 move. The second one will get an 8 and an 8 for 2 moves, and the third one will get a 5 and a 1. So these 2 guys are only going to get 1 move to there, and this guy is going to get 2 moves to there. Then they actually get to take 3 actions, and it's going to be move, and then not, and then with a 5 a move. So he gets to move another 12. And this last terror is going to move and not. So he's also going to move 12 inches. And that's it for turn number 4. Now it's time for our heroes to go, and if we get lucky, we can end the game here. Let's take a look at what's through the door. I think you can just see it. Let's get a little closer and take a look. That's a pretty good shot right there. As you can see, each of these guys only has one more guy that he needs to kill. And I'm kind of thinking, let's see, we got, we're going to start over here with him. He's going to have to, him, pronouns are dumb. Don't use pronouns if you can help it. Jonal, who has just torn it up in this game, is going to use his D10s to attack, and he's going to get 5 and a 2, which is a hit. And the guy he's attacking is going to roll a 1 and fail, and that means he can use his free move to get off the board. Hey, that's free money right there. And then the same thing is going to happen here for Gav. He's going to roll, and he gets a 5, which is a hit. And this guy has to save, and he only saves on a 5 up. With an 8, he does manage to do that. So we'll try with our D8 attack. A 4 is a hit. He's going to save on an 8. And then, oh, Lord, days are coming. His last attack of the day, he gets his hit. 50-50 shot here. There we go. 3. You love to see it. That guy goes down. Free move. Let me prove to you. There's our 5 inches right there. He's off the board. And we got lucky that we didn't have any zombies show up, because, you know, that little speed bump might have meant the end, although we did waste a little bit of time. The hard part about these gauntlets, with the way this particular game works, the activation, that process is not your friend, brother, because you can't mix and match. That means each guy has to go, and the last man off the table is facing some serious, serious challenges to do so. Particularly when you've got so many darkness guys coming at him. Post-game wrap-up. Look at all this loot. Now, Arthur's a bit of a slacker. He's only going to pick up 9 silver pieces for this one, which is a little bit surprising because he's got that mace. I need to use him a lot more. Jonal, despite swinging at skeletons with a bladed weapon, was able to rack up 12 silver for these guys, and each of these is worth 6. So that's going to be 18. He's going to rack up another 30. He's sitting on 52 silver. Bob Iojimbo only manages to score 9 silver, taking him to 13. And then over here we've got 9 silver plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 6. So 39 for Gav in Morgan takes him up to 49 silver. Now, we're not done scoring cash yet. At the adept level, we get D4 times 10, and it's going to be 40. Oh, we'll brighten that up a little bit there. Yeah, see, look at that, 40 silver. So everybody's going to get another 10 silver. I should probably start rolling that first. 62, 23, 29, and 59. I'm just going to give everybody 10, and then they can kind of swap as needed. We also get 4 tokens. Hey, speaking of tokens, I gave each of these guys, at the start of this battle, a token of guile or teleportation, both of which spring you out of combat without taking any hits. You want to tell me why I didn't think to use any of those at the end of that last battle? I don't know. I'll tell you the other thing I didn't use that I should have. I might not be tall enough for this ride. You know, I might be riding a bus that's way too long for me. Guild of Blades, the Initiates have a Berserk Charge and they can cleave. Declare before melee, you get a +1 to your attack roll. You can use that once every game, and I didn't think of it. I'm moving up to Journeyman now, where I've got Blood Rage. I get 3 free melee attacks up to 3 enemies currently in base-to-base contact. And when I get dogpiled by those horrors, I hope I remember that. So they all advance to Journeyman. But wait, there's more. I get 3 more tokens. And the other thing I'm going to do, you saw Arthur and Jonal throwing their bombs. I'm going to replace those as well. So that's, but I'll do that offline. I've got 3 more tokens that I can buy, and I really like that token. Well, let's see what we got here. Do we have any tokens that'll make these guys a little more beefy in hand-to-hand combat? And once again, I know I'm supposed to be rolling for artifacts, but they're... Bro, I can barely remember the rules I'm using. You think I'm gonna... Look at this artifact. Look at the rules on these guys. I mean, they're great, right? Stojanovic's satchel. Once belonging to an alchemist, blah, 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 blah. The satchel has 16 slots instead of 13. Oh, well, I mean, that was not too bad, actually. But I like this. We got this Warhammer of Forte Decay. What? But you see that Warhammer of Forte Decay? I just got that. I just got it. It's the Warhammer of Forte. You got to say it fast. Forte Decay. That's hysterical. Anyway, but look at all those rules, man. Brother, I ain't reading all that stuff. When equipped, lose an inch of movement, -4 penalty to a single foe, dodge, defend. In addition to all, on any attack roll of a natural 1, the hammer strikes the ground on all models within 2.5 inches, including allies, and must roll their highest die type. A 4+ means they remain. Basically, it's an earthquake weapon. If you roll a 1 on your 2-hit roll, everybody's got to make a save versus fall down, go boom. That's too much for me to remember. If I was sitting here goofing around on my kitchen table, I'd probably do it. But like I said, I got a video. I got people watching. I want to roll through this as quick as possible. I've already spent 4 minutes on the post-game sequence. That should take 5. I don't have any time. Like I said, I'm going to buy myself a couple of potions, and then I'm going to buy a couple of these tokens of... I don't know. I can't... Because I'm stalling for time because I can't find tokens. Where are they? That's the artifact. Oh, here we go. Token of swiftness, protection, ignore the first wound. That might come in handy. But I need speed. So I might buy some more potions today. Anyway, I'm going to take care of this every time. We'll see the next number 5 is I'm praying for you. Goodbye.